Hello and welcome to DataSunrise demo of data-inspired security. This feature in DataSunrise can help you identify information types in queries and query results, and you can use this feature in audit, masking, and security rules. Let's see how we can configure this feature first. To configure this feature, we have to tell DataSunrise what information types we need to use and tag in queries and query results. In order to do that, we go to event tagging. This is a new menu item under configuration, and create a new event tags. Here I've created tagging for my MS SQL instance, and I've selected email address in data. Event address in data is a custom information type. I've created this information type to show you how you can dynamically identify sensitive information in query results. Let's open up and see its settings. This information type consists of one attribute, another column name. There's a pattern to include all column names, and column data was copied or cloned from email address. I will use this attribute in my audit, security, and masking rules. Now let's configure an audit rule and connect this audit rule with event tagging. This way, DataSunrise dynamically will identify information type used here. So let's go to the audit rules, and I have here two rules. This rule is connected to session events. And we see that this rule triggered 3 times. Now let's go to this one. I use my Microsoft SQL Server here, and this Microsoft SQL Server contains some test data, for example, Microsoft AdventureWorks database. I'm going to save event in the audit storage, save query results and variables used in queries. On the filter statements, I use object group to use select, insert, update, delete statements and trigger my rule when these statements will flow through DataSunrise. And now we see the data filter checked in, so this is turned on. And I used column contents must match the following information type. Now I see that information type is selected here, it's enabled. It's a custom information type I used. So this rule is enabled. It means we can test it. Let's go to transactional trails and see how they will trigger. And for test purposes, I will use my Azure Data Studio. Now see, I'm connected through the proxy, and the proxy is running on 1444 port, which is DataSunrise running in the proxy mode. If we'll list these databases, then we'll see some sample databases like AdventureWorks. If we list, for example, persons, if we'll select rows from person, we can see that there is no email column, there is no value with emails. So, and let's close it. Now I see here the email address, and hopefully there is some email column. Now we see email address here. I expect the DataSunrise triggered at least once here on this query, and I hope to see this in transactional trails. Let's go to DataSunrise and refresh this page. We see that this rule connected to data-inspired security triggered once when I queried email address table. And also there is a tag email address in data in this tag column. When I used this rule, tested this rule, so I don't see any tags here. And this is a session connected to rule nest with session, so it doesn't have any tag here. So this way, DataSunrise triggered on select statements. Now let's test DataSunrise with insert, update, and delete statements. Let's go back to the Azure Data Studio. close this. And here I have an example. I'm going to insert some test data in my customers table. You can find here, test database, customers. So let's query first select the select statement. So we see the email is here. And if I will add some data here with insert statement, this data should appear there. Yes. Then I'll update the same row with the same value. Then I will delete the very same row. Now, I expect that DataSunrise will show me at least one additional select statement, query results as well, and also 3 events connected to insert, update, and delete statements. Let's go to DataSunrise and see. Refresh the page. Yes, as we see that when I selected the data from test database, DataSunrise tagged this information as a mail, and when I inserted this information into the test database and to customers, also triggered. When I updated, also triggered and tagged with email address and data. So this way, DataSunrise provides you with data-inspired security as a database activity monitoring tool with event tagging. Now let's see how DataSunrise works with security rules and event tagging, providing you with data-inspired security by blocking some queries, for example. Let's go to rules and create a new rule. Let's add a new rule here and let's call it this block selects. And I'll choose my MS SQL server I will use for these tests. So audit storage, all these events. I'm going to trigger the rule when someone will try to select some sensitive data such as email values. And for this purpose, I need to turn on this data filter option and choose my information type for this database instance. Let's turn it on, apply it rule. Yeah. Now, if you go to my Azure Data Studio, and I will try to do the same action the same way. We'll try to select data from my customers, for example. And I see that this rule triggered and DataSunrise is running in the proxy mode and intercepted the query, identified that email column was used there, so it's blocked. And I see this error. Also, it's interesting, if I'll select some data from products, this also will be blocked. And the reason is there is some email values. So in order to see that, I will disable this rule to make sure that there is some sensitive data in my products. And we'll run this query again when the security rule is disabled. Now I see on the description column, I see the email value. So when I enable the security rule, I cannot run this query. So this way, DataSunrise provides you with data-inspired security, analyzing the result sets delivered from the database instance. Now let's test data-inspired security with dynamic masking rules. For this purpose, I'm going to disable security rule. And I will go to dynamic masking rules of DataSunrise. So I have here one rule created for this demo. This rule is also works with MS SQL database instance. And under masking settings, now we have the data filter option. And this data filter doesn't need to include objects like columns and so on. So I've just selected here the information type, which I already included in event tagging. And This is on. This is can apply this rule. Now we can test it by going to Azure Data Studio by selecting some data from customers. And as we remember, products contain some email address in product description. It also should be masked. Yes, it's masked in the description. So DataSunrise analyzes the result set and can mask data on the fly. The same way, if we go to our VentureWorks database, we'll select where it's from there. So we see the email address is masked with default masking action or method. So this way, DataSunrise is capable to mask information in different columns without explicitly specifying the names of these columns in DataSunrise masking rules. So also DataSunrise is capable to mask sensitive data in error text messages when such a sensitive information may appear in such text. This way, DataSunrise with data-inspired security provides you with the full range of options to audit, secure, and mask sensitive information. Thank you for watching.